Girl, I love it when we do it, turn you on. Shorty, tell me if I'm wrong. I can see.
Imagine the pulse of a killer beat dropping in a packed arena, then silenced forever by a hail of bullets. That's the explosive reality of hip-hop's deadliest secret. Gang wars that have gunned down 7 rising stars in just 3 years, turning fame into a fatal trap. From daylight robberies to midnight ambushes, these aren't random hits. They're calculated chaos fueled by rivalries and revenge. Welcome to Explosive True Crime Stories, where we detonate the truth behind the headlines. Today, we expose the raw details of their skyrocketing careers, the brutal moments of betrayal, and the unsolved mysteries that linger like gun smoke. Get ready for stories that will blow your mind, from Philly's mean streets to Atlanta's trap houses. Viewer discretion advised. These tales are as real as they are ruthless. New here. Subscribe now and ring that bell for more mind-blowing true crime. Like if you're locked in. And let's ignite this episode. First up, an Instagram flex becomes a death sentence. This is the tragic blast that ended PNB Rock. Our first explosive story explodes out of the gritty streets of Philadelphia, where young talent named Rakeem Hashim Allen, better known as PNB Rock, fought his way from homelessness to hip-hop stardom. But one seemingly innocent Instagram post would turn into a deadly beacon, drawing killers right to his table. Buckle up, because this tale of rags to riches ends in a brutal robbery that shocked the world. Born on December 9, 1991, in Philly's tough Germantown neighborhood, PNB Rock's early life was a battlefield. His father was murdered when he was just 3 years old, plunging his family into chaos. Raised by a single mother, Rock bounced between homes, sometimes sleeping on the streets or crashing with friends. By his teens, he was caught up in the cycle of crime, drug possession, robbery, you name it. But music became his escape. He adopted the name PNB Rock as a nod to the corner of Pastorius and Baton Streets, where he honed his craft amid the chaos. Rock's big break came in 2014, while he was locked up for those earlier charges. From behind bars, he dropped his debut mixtape, Real and Asterisk Bangas, a raw, unfiltered blast of trap and R&B that captured his street struggles. Released in Hungary, he followed up with the viral single Fleek in 2015, but it was 2016's Selfish that detonated his career. That track peaked at number 51 on the Billboard Hot 100, went double platinum, and showcased his signature melodic flow, blending heartfelt lyrics about love, loss, and survival. Signed to Atlantic Records, he unleashed his debut album Catch These Vibes in 2017, packed with collabs like Russ and Wiz Khalifa. Tracks like Unforgettable and Nowadays racked up millions of streams, proving Rock was more than a one-hit wonder. His second album, Trap Star Turned Pop Star in 2019, hit number 4 on the Billboard 200, featuring bangers like Middle Child with the late XXXTentacion and I Like Dat alongside a Boogie with the Hoodie. Over his career, Rock amassed over 1 billion Spotify streams, collaborating with heavyweights like YFN Lucci, Lil Bibby, and Fetty Wap. His music dove deep into themes of street life, relationships, and redemption, earning him a loyal fanbase. But fame came with shadows. Legal troubles lingered, including a 2019 arrest for drugs and firearms. Still, Rock was on the cusp of superstardom, a Philly kid who turned pain into platinum. That all shattered on September 12, 2022, in South Los Angeles. At age 30, Rock was grabbing lunch at Roscoe's House of Chicken and Waffles with his fiancée, Stephanie Sabanuing. She posted a geotagged photo of their meal on Instagram, flaunting the moment. Authorities believe this tipped off robbers eyeing Rock's flashy jewelry, worth over $500,000. Around 1:15 p.m., a masked gunman stormed in, zeroed in on Rock, and demanded the bling at gunpoint. When Rock resisted, the assailant unleashed multiple shots into his chest and back.
The victim was sitting at a table eating with a female witness when he was approached by the suspect. The suspect then brandished a firearm and demanded his property. We don't have the audio as to what the exact verbal exchange was at that time. The suspect then fired multiple rounds and then appears to remove some property. To what extent, we don't know at this time.
The attack was over in under a minute. Rock was rushed to a hospital but pronounced dead at 1:59 p.m. Surveillance footage captured the horror, and LAPD classified it as a targeted robbery homicide, with ties to the Rollin' 60s Crips gang. It wasn't random. It was ruthless, calculated, and explosive. In the aftermath, 3 suspects were rounded up. Freddie Lee Trone, his 17-year-old son, charged as an adult, and Chantel Trone as an accessory. They faced murder, robbery, and conspiracy charges. The trial kicked off in 2024, ending with murder convictions for the father and son in August. The case ignited debates about social media's dangers for celebrities and the plague of gun violence in hip-hop. Rock's posthumous album Going Through the Motions dropped in 2023, a final echo of his talent. Tributes poured in from Drake, Meek Mill, and fans worldwide, remembering him as a melodic force whose light was snuffed out too soon. PNB Rock's story is a stark warning. In the rap game, one post can be fatal. If this hit you hard, drop a like and comment your thoughts below. Up next, Amigos star caught in the crossfire of a dice game gone deadly. Stay tuned for Takeoff's tragic end. Shifting from Philly's traps to Atlanta's explosive scene, our next story centers on Kirshner Karibal, better known as Takeoff, the understated genius of the powerhouse trio Migos. Often called the group's secret weapon with his razor-sharp flows, Takeoff helped redefine trap music. But in a Houston night that started with fun and games, a senseless argument erupted into gunfire, claiming his life as an innocent bystander. This is the meteoric rise and heartbreaking fall of a rap icon gone too soon. Born on June 18, 1994, in Lawrenceville, Georgia, Takeoff grew up in a close-knit, musical family. Raised by his mother, a hairstylist to the stars, alongside his Uncle Quavo and cousin Offset, he was immersed in rhythm from the start. The trio formed Migos in 2008, originally as Polo Club, experimenting with beats in their basement. Takeoff, the youngest, brought a quiet intensity, crafting intricate rhymes that set him apart. Their big break came in 2013 with the mixtape YRN, Young Rich Niggas, and the viral hit Versace, which Drake remixed and propelled them into the spotlight. Migos exploded onto the charts with their 2017 album Culture, debuting at #1 on the Billboard 200. Tracks like Bad and Bougie went diamond, with Takeoff's verses stealing the show. The group followed up with Culture 2 in 2018, featuring collabs with Cardi B, Nicki Minaj, and Gucci Mane, and Culture 3 in 2021. Over their run, Migos notched over 20 Billboard Hot 100 entries, including Stir Fry and Motorsport. Takeoff stepped out solo with his 2018 album The Last Rocket, peaking at #4 on the Billboard 200, showcasing his solo prowess on songs like Casper. Known for his ad-libs and low-key vibe, he earned shout-outs from Kendrick Lamar and avoided the spotlight's drama, focusing instead on philanthropy in Atlanta, like community givebacks. Even amid Migos' internal tensions, including Offset's brief split in 2020, Takeoff remained a steady force, helping reunite the group. That stability shattered on November 1, 2022, in Houston, Texas. At age 28, Takeoff and Quavo were at a private party at 810 Billiards and Bowling, kicking back with a dice game. Around 2:30 a.m., an argument broke out in the parking lot, not involving Takeoff or Quavo, but escalating fast. Gunfire erupted, with over 30 shots fired in the chaos. Takeoff, standing nearby as a bystander, was struck in the head and torso by stray bullets.
Who was deceased. That male has been identified as Kirsnick Ball, better known as Takeoff. He's a member of the Migos rap group out of Atlanta. And I want to pause again, because sometimes the hip-hop community gets a bad name. And I know, and evident from this city and people who I have a personal relationship, a lot of great people in our hip-hop community, and I respect them. But back to Takeoff. I got many calls from Houston and outside of Houston, and everyone spoke of what a great young man this is, how peaceful he is, what a great artist. And I'm calling up on everybody, our hip-hop artists, in Houston and around the nation. We got to police ourselves. It is so many talented individuals, men and women, in that community who, again, I love and I respect. And we all need to stand together and make sure nobody tears down that industry.
This is Julio Folio's brutal end. From Atlanta's traps, we head to the volatile streets of Jacksonville, Florida, where drill rap isn't just music, it's a declaration of war. Enter Charles Andrew Jones II, aka Julio Folio, a bold voice in the genre whose diss tracks ignited feuds that spilled from the mic to the streets. But on what should have been a celebratory birthday, a ruthless ambush turned his world into a war zone. This is the high-octane rise and fatal explosion of a drill rap provocateur. Born on June 21, 1998, in Jacksonville, Folio grew up in one of the city's most dangerous neighborhoods, where survival meant navigating gang life from a young age. Affiliated with the KTA crew, short for Kill Them All, he channeled that raw energy into music starting in 2015. His early tracks went viral on YouTube, packed with aggressive disses aimed at rivals like Young Gene Ace and his ATK gang. Folio's style was unapologetic drill, hard-hitting beats laced with tales of violence, loyalty, and street code. His breakthrough mixtape 6 Tuvin in 2018 put him on the map, followed by Love Me Like I'm Dead in 2020, which racked up millions of streams. By 2021, albums like Confidential Thoughts and Life of a Fool solidified his spot in Florida's rap scene, with hits like Voodoo and When I See You blending menace and melody. He collaborated with producers like Zaytoven and built a massive following, over 1 million on Instagram, through raw, authentic storytelling. But Folio's career was shadowed by real danger. He survived multiple shootings, including a 2018 drive-by that left him wounded, and faced arrests for evading police. His music often glorified the KTA feud, turning personal beefs into viral content, but it also made him a target in Jacksonville's ongoing gang wars. That target was hit on June 23, 2024, in Tampa, Florida. At age 26, Folio was celebrating his birthday, first at an overcrowded Airbnb that got shut down, then relocating to a Holiday Inn. Around 4:40 a.m., in the hotel parking lot, gunmen from 2 vehicles unleashed a barrage, over 100 rounds fired in a targeted assault. Folio was struck 18 times and pronounced dead at the scene, while 3 others were injured. Police linked it directly to the years-long KDK rivalry, fueled by Folio's social media taunts and diss tracks. It wasn't random. It was a calculated gang retaliation, exploding in the dead of night. The aftermath saw swift action. 4 suspects tied to ATK were arrested in July 2024, slapped with murder charges. The case spotlighted how social media amplifies real-world violence in drill rap, sparking calls for change from artists like Lil Durk. Folio's posthumous releases kept his catalog alive, cementing his role as a raw voice of the streets. Fans and peers mourned him as a fearless talent whose fire burned too bright, too fast. Folio's end is a chilling reminder that in drill rap, words can be as deadly as bullets. If this feud fascinated you, like the video and drop your take in the comments. Next, an unsolved mystery from California's Central Valley. Stick around for young Slow B's haunting tale. Venturing west to California's Central Valley, where hi-fi beats meet harsh realities, our next story uncovers Dezeen Jashawn Victor, aka Young Slow B, a rising force who revived Stockton's sound. From viral TikTok anthems to gritty tales of survival, Slow B was on the verge of breaking big. But an early morning ambush left him lifeless in an apartment complex, his case still shrouded in mystery. This is the promising ascent and unsolved downfall of a West Coast talent. Born on September 24, 1992, in Stockton, California, Slow B grew up in the tough Southeast Side, where poverty and gang affiliations were everyday battles. Immersed in the local scene, he started rapping in 2019, blending hi-fi's high-energy bounce with trap's raw edge. His breakthrough came in 2021 with the track I Love You, which exploded on TikTok and racked up millions of views, capturing hearts with its emotional depth amid street narratives. Mixtapes like Southeast in 2021 and Slow B Bryant 3 in 2022 showcased his versatility, collaborating with West Coast heavyweights like Drakeo the Ruler and EBK Young Jock. Slow B's music painted vivid pictures of Stockton life, hustle, loss, and loyalty, amassing over 50 million streams without major label backing. He stayed true to his roots, avoiding flashy controversies, but navigating the dangers of his environment, including rumored ties to local crews. His understated style and authentic vibe positioned him as a fresh voice in California's rap resurgence, with fans praising his ability to mix melody with menace. That voice was silenced on August 5, 2022, in Manteca, California. At age 29, Slow B was found around 3 a.m. in an apartment complex, riddled with multiple gunshot wounds. He was pronounced dead at the scene, the victim of what police described as a targeted shooting. Investigations pointed to gang rivalries bubbling in Stockton, possibly a retaliatory hit tied to ongoing feuds. No immediate suspects were named, and despite witness tips, the case exploded into a cold file, leaving questions about motives and perpetrators unanswered. As of 2025, the investigation remains open, a haunting reminder of unsolved violence in underserved communities. Slow B's posthumous album Slow B Bryant 4 dropped, keeping his legacy alive through tributes from Bay Area icons like E40. Fans remember him as a beacon for Stockton rap, his potential stolen by shadows that refuse to lift. Young Slow B's unsolved murder leaves us wondering, will justice ever strike? If this mystery has you hooked, like the video and share your theories below. Up next, a Louisiana drive-by that shattered a family and a career. Stay locked in for JayDaYoungan's devastating story. Deep in the heart of Louisiana's bayous, where trap beats echo through small-town struggles, rises the story of Javorius Tyke Scott, better known as JayDaYoungan, a southern sensation whose raw rhymes turned pain into platinum streams. From Bogalusa's backroads to Billboard charts, he was building an empire, but a ruthless drive-by outside his own home would rip it all away, leaving a father wounded and a legacy in tatters. This is the rapid climb and shattering descent of a trap rap prodigy. Born on July 15, 1998, in Bogalusa, Louisiana, JayDaYoungan grew up in poverty, surrounded by the harsh realities of rural life. Music became his outlet in 2017, when he dropped his debut mixtape, The Real Jumpman 23, a nod to his basketball dreams and Michael Jordan obsession. His breakthrough hit 23 Island in 2018 went viral, blending melodic trap with tales of street survival, heartbreak, and hustle. Signed to Atlantic Records, he unleashed mixtapes like Forever 23 in 2018 and Misunderstood in 2019, both charting on the Billboard 200. His 2020 album Baby 23 featured collabs with heavyweights like Moneybagg Yo, cementing his spot in Southern rap. JayDaYoungan's discography exploded with over 1 billion streams, driven by tracks like Elimination and Ops that captured Louisiana's gritty essence. He navigated controversies, including arrests for assault and drug possession, but his authentic storytelling, rooted in personal loss and ambition, built a massive following. Tragedy struck on July 27, 2022, in Bogalusa. At age 24, JayDaYoungan was ambushed in a drive-by, shooting right outside his home. He and his father, Kenyatta Scott, were sitting on the porch when a vehicle pulled up and unleashed a barrage of gunfire. JayDaYoungan was hit multiple times in the chest and rushed to a hospital, where he succumbed to his injuries. His father survived but was critically wounded. Police linked the attack to local gang disputes, possibly tied to ongoing rivalries in the area, though specifics remained murky. It was a brazen, explosive hit that shattered a quiet evening. No arrests have been made as of 2025, with the case still under investigation, fueling frustration among fans and family. Posthumous releases like Forever 23 2X kept his music alive, honoring his influence on Louisiana trap. Tributes poured in, remembering him as a voice for the voiceless, his potential stolen by senseless violence. JayDaYoungan's drive-by death hits hard. Fame couldn't shield him from the streets. If this story shook you, like the video and comment your reactions. Coming up, 2 tales of mayhem from Atlanta and Memphis. Don't miss the combined chaos of Trouble and Snooty Wild. As we near the end of our explosive journey, We doubled down on two Southern powerhouses whose careers lit up the trap scene, only to be extinguished in blasts of violence. First, Atlanta's Trouble, a street poet who collabed with legends, felled by a home invasion. Then Memphis Snooty Wild, whose crunk anthems went viral, ended in a Houston ditch. These twin tragedies highlight the relentless grip of gang ties on rap's underbelly. Let's unpack their rises and fatal falls, starting with Mariel Samonte Orr, aka Trouble, born November 4th, 1987, in Atlanta's Edgewood neighborhood. Growing up in the heart of trap country, Trouble immersed himself in the city's vibrant scene, dropping his debut mixtape December 17th in 2011. His gritty, introspective style caught ears with tracks like Bussin', blending raw street tales with soulful hooks. Signed to Def Jam, he released Scoopzilla in 2016 and the acclaimed Edgewood in 2018, featuring massive collabs with Drake and The Weeknd. His discography, including Thug Love in 2020, racked up streams by tackling themes of loyalty, loss, and Atlanta life. Trouble stayed grounded, avoiding major scandals while building a rep as a mentor in the scene, but his environment's dangers always lurked. Trouble's life ended on June 5, 2022, at age 34, in Rockdale County, Georgia. During what started as a domestic visit, a home invasion turned deadly. Trouble was sleeping at a woman's apartment when her ex-boyfriend, Jamichael Jones, broke in and shot him in the chest. The attack was tied to a jealous dispute with underlying gang elements, exploding into fatal violence. Trouble was pronounced dead at the scene, a shocking hit in a seemingly personal feud. Jones was arrested and convicted of murder in 2023, sentenced for his role in the chaos. Trouble's legacy endures through posthumous tributes and his influence on Atlanta trap, remembered by peers as a true voice of the streets. Now,
And new tonight, a sense of relief for the family of a popular Memphis rapper shot and killed on Houston's South Side almost 10 months ago.
HPD has arrested this man, 22-year-old Ivory Duke Williams, who they say is responsible for the rapper's death. KPRC2's Bill Barajas spoke with the sisters of LaPreston Porter III, also known as Snooty Wild. He's live downtown with those details. Bill.
Well, the family of LaPreston Porter says they wish it hadn't taken so long to make an arrest in this case, but they do believe HPD's got the right guy. Their focus now is making sure he stays right here behind bars at the Harris County Jail. LaPreston Porter III, also known to fans as Snooty Wild, was well established in the Memphis rap game. What his sisters Unique Hearns and Daphne Isom say some might not know is that he was a family man, a son, father, and brother.
He was a light, he was very loving, very supportive. I feel like there was nothing that I couldn't call on him for.
Porter was shot in South Houston on February 25th. He was rushed to the hospital, but later died. Investigators say a woman on scene claimed several people, including Porter, had stopped to help her after her vehicle got stuck in a ditch. She alleges that at some point Porter walked up and pointed a gun at her. She told police she ran off but heard gunshots a short time later. Porter's family members say they don't buy that story.
It's absolutely not the case. My brother was actually called. He was called to come and assist the young lady with her situation, and was unaware that family members of hers had been contacted or called to actually be at the location when he arrived.
Ivory Williams.
Police have since arrested Ivory Williams. He has been charged with murder.
In terms of why Ivory would want to kill him, hopefully that's something that he's willing to, share during the procedure. But most importantly, what we want, the arrest is the first step, but the most important step is the justice.
And during a probable cause court appearance earlier today, a judge said that Williams claimed Porter had a gun and pointed it at his cousin. The judge went on to say investigators never found a gun on or near Porter. Now, we did look up Williams' past criminal history and found he had been arrested in the past several times. It was actually on probation at the time of the shooting for assault on a peace officer and assault on a family member. Again, he is being held here at the Harris County Jail. His total bond set at $255,000. We're live in downtown. Bill Barajas, KPRC2 News.
Shifting to LaPreston Porter, a.k.a. Snooty Wild, born April 23, 1985, in Memphis, Tennessee. Rising from North Memphis rough blocks, Snooty fused crunk energy with trap grit. His 2013 breakout Yayo went viral, remixed by Yo Gotti and exploding on charts. Signed to Epic Records, he dropped the EP Go Mode in 2014, followed by Ain't No Stoppin' Me in 2015, with hits like Made Me featuring K Camp. Snooty style, high-energy anthems about hustle and survival earned him spots on tours and millions of streams, making him a Memphis staple without the heavy controversies, though street life shadowed him. Snooty's end came on February 25, 2022, at age 36, in Houston, Texas. After an altercation escalated, he was shot and found critically wounded in a ditch near an SUV. Rushed to a hospital, he succumbed to his injuries days later. Police suspected gang-related motives, tying it to local rivalries, though details remain sparse. Ivory Rowe was charged with murder in 2023, facing trial for the attack. Snooty's impact on Crumtrap lives on, with tributes honoring his infectious energy. These stories of trouble and Snooty Wild _rap's deadly crossroads. If they hit home, like the video and comment below. Wrapping it all up, the bigger picture of hip-hop's gun violence epidemic. Stay tuned for our explosive conclusion. We've journeyed through 7 heartbreaking explosions in the world of hip-hop. PNB Rock's fatal Instagram slip, Takeoff's bystander tragedy, Julio Folio's drill-fueled ambush, Young Slow B's unsolved nightmare, Jada Youngin's family-shattering drive-by, Trouble's invasive betrayal, and Snooty Wild's street-side demise. These aren't isolated incidents. They're threads in a deadly tapestry woven from gang rivalries, social media pitfalls, and unchecked gun violence. Each rapper rose from struggle to stardom, only to be cut down in their prime, leaving behind legacies of music that still pulses through speakers worldwide. The bigger picture is grim. Gun deaths in hip-hop occur at rates 5 to 32 times higher than in other music genres, according to studies from sources like Pew Research. It's a cycle fueled by street codes, fame spotlight, and a lack of protection, turning artists into targets. From the rolling 60s in LA to Jacksonville's KKK wars, these cases scream for change. Stricter gun laws, better security for celebrities, and a shift away from glorifying violence in lyrics. But amid the tragedy, there's hope. Their stories inspire movements, tributes, and calls for peace from icons like Jay-Z and Lil Durk. These rappers didn't just make beats, they voiced the voiceless, and their echoes demand we listen. As we close this episode of Explosive True Crime Stories, remember, fame can be a double-edged sword, sharp with danger. Thanks for joining us on this intense ride. If these tales detonated your perspective, smash that like button, subscribe for more mind-blowing deep dives, and turn on notifications so you never miss an upload. Drop a comment below. Which story shocked you the most? What rapper's tragedy should we explode next? Share this video with a friend, and let's keep the conversation going. Until next time, stay safe, stay vigilant, and keep the truth exploding. This is Explosive True Crime Stories, signing off.